We'll now open the Revere License Commission meeting. First order of business would be the approval of the minutes of May 28th. Is there a motion on the table for that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's been approved. First order of business is Fiesta Shows, 15 Pine Street, Seabrook, New Hampshire. John Flynn, manager. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
I'm John Flynn, president of Dean & Flynn, doing business as Fiesta Shows, 15 Pine Street, Seabrook, New Hampshire.
Great. And can you propose to the commission what exactly you want to do and what safety precautions you're going to be taking and hours of operation and so forth?
Correct. We're looking to do an event back on the north lot, a lot smaller than in the past, obviously, because of the construction. But the DCR and the people that the property were being conveyed to, there's a window of opportunity for us to do one more event there for the city. And we, naturally, with this board's permission, we would go ahead and do that. The event would be for the city. There's already been $2,000 in funds paid out to the junior ROTC at the high school for their graduating class to help them out. All of those proceeds and donations all come out of that carnival. We're looking to open there on a Thursday through Sunday. Thursday it would be 6 to 11, Friday 6 to 11, Saturday 12 to 11, Sunday 12 to 10. Sound ordinance that we always adhere to there is all sound amplification systems and all music is shut off at 9:30. And naturally, upon this board's approval, I would then visit the fire department, police department to arrange for details and inspections, health department, building department, and electric department for inspections, and notify the state that takes care of all of the inspections on the amusement devices.
And you've also provided a certificate of insurance for the operations as well.
Oh, and also about 2 weeks before the event, the list of employees is turned over to the police department to do a further background check. Because obviously we do background checks, but we're only allowed to do them in the Commonwealth. The police can do it nationally. What is it, COPS they do?
Sorry? Yeah. And what do you plan in terms of having for police details and for
I leave that totally up to the police. I just meet with the detail officer, and they know what's going on in the town, and they know what we need. I mean, if they say we need 6 people, we get 6 on a Friday night. If a Sunday afternoon when all we see is young children and baby carriages, they might say 2, but I leave that solely to them. They know better than I do. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've never had any problems there.
Okay.
I guess my concern with this carnival, half of Ocean Ave is closed down. Okay, I'm sure you're aware of that. And, you kind of have to go into the other lane to get past that area. And also, there's large equipment there that I'm very concerned about. I think this past week there was a problem there. And thank God there was nobody in the lot, and I guess it was taken care of. But that is a great concern of mine. There's an awful lot of equipment. The road is dug up. You've got metal barriers you have to go over. And that's a great concern. How do you plan on handling that?
I had talked to Johnny Festa upstairs about what was going to transpire.
If you could just speak up a little louder. The air conditioning's very loud.
Okay, sorry. I had talked to Johnny Festa upstairs just to find out what construction times were and what else was going there. And he had said to me that there's a window of opportunity when we go in there, that there'll be less construction, that obviously with a new parking tower that's built there at the D'Amico's lot next door, there'll be more than ample parking for everyone. I have not had my meeting with the state police yet. That got canceled. But I believe the state police maintain that road. And they're the ones that are going to come up with a detail for that road. But I would have to envision they're going to have a I believe the last time we did it, they actually had a car with lights on out front all the time.
Okay.
But I would rely on them and actually the local police. for,
Yeah, it just
whatever
seems
we
like
need.
an awful lot of things have to be in place for that small area. Has D'Amico made an agreement with you to use their parking lot? Because that's
He's
private.
still going to charge people to park there.
Oh, he's going to charge people, so you really don't have that for parking?
No, no,
That's
no.
still
He
paid?
would get all the income from it,
Right,
as
okay,
the T would from their parking area.
right. And like I say, I go by there every day, and the construction and those large equipment that's there, I can't see a carnival running with all of this and with the incident that just happened.
I would think that the people that are coming there, we're going to see most of our penetration Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when all that construction will be stopped. But, I mean, the equipment and everything would still be there, correct?
Okay. The other question I have is, you're saying you're going to donate, because the reason for these carnivals, obviously, everyone has questions when carnivals come in. Most cities and towns, and you know it's very hard to get licenses in different cities and towns. So the reason that we've always allowed it, this board, because we like to see money come into the kids, mostly it was for sports. We had the McCarthy funding. And so you're saying from this carnival, they'll receive $2,000 to
No,
ROC?
2,000 has already been given
Has
to
already,
the junior ROTC because they graduated 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And there was a commitment made that there would be support to them. So we went ahead and made an advance payment from the proceeds of this event, if it happens.
if it happens. So then when you say it's a fundraiser for the city Revere,
Correct.
explain that to me. I don't know where it would go.
The city, as the Trifoni Rec Committee, get a percentage of all the ticket sales.
Do
all
they
of-
still get a percentage, Trifoni?
Oh, yes, yeah, yeah. And that percentage goes, I think, well, I shouldn't say that, but I believe it was put through the mayor's fund for different charities and donations. I'm not, again, what happens when it's in there, that's entirely up to the city and the mayor. But I do know that it was said that they wanted to make a donation to the junior ROTC because they don't get support from other, like the regular ROTC.
Right, I understand that. And that's just, I'm just a little confused. It used to always be the McCarthy Trifoni
Correct.
Fund, and that's what it was done for many years. So the new wording is confusing me. As
Yeah.
long as there is a reason we're giving out carnival licenses, because to me, again, I see, you know, some potential problems in that area. I'm very concerned about it. And obviously, if our kids aren't going to benefit from it in the city, I don't see the need for a carnival right now. I mean, the city's on the move, and, you know, someday, you know, maybe we'd have something permanent, but right now, I have a lot of concerns with that location.
I think over the years, I've been in front of the board, the commission many times, and I remember one year we said it was going to be the last blast on Revere Beach.
Right,
And
North Lot.
Obviously, we had a few more, but this obviously will be the last blast because the North Lot will be gone after this event.
Right, I know 5 years ago, we agreed there would never be any on the North Lot,
Yeah.
and here we are back again. But by the building that's going on, you're right, there can never be another one after
Correct.
this year. But I guess those are my concerns, as usual, the safety and, you know, being the beach, we have to be concerned, and the parking, because we've now lost all of the parking. You're saying D'Amico's going to let you park there.
D'Amico
Well,
was going to charge people.
He's going to
And
charge.
also, the one thing that we never had in the past was the new T parking garage. We never had that years ago. So that's quite an additional amount of parking.
Right. Yeah, I'm concerned. They're getting money. Unfortunately, Revere Beach gets,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to go there. But, yeah, those were just my concerns. That area has become extremely congested. That's all I have to say.
John, quick question. You said,
Yes, sir.
They're going to run from 1 to 11, or it says 1 to 11 on the...
I'm
app.
sorry, 1 to 11, correct. I said 12,
So
but it is 1 to 11. I
that's-
apologize.
Every night while you're there?
That would be that would be Saturday, Sunday. The Thursday and Friday would be opening at 6.
Okay, so that doesn't say that here, it just says 1 to 11. Okay.
So, Mr. Flynn, they're not going to be working, there won't be any work being taking place during the operations of the carnival, is that
Correct. That's one of the reasons why we restructured the hours on it. Because, you know, obviously Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there's going to be construction people over there.
Okay.
I don't have any other questions.
So this doesn't conflict with the sandcastles, right? Whatever weekend that is?
No, there's, I think, 2 weekends apart.
Or is it August?
We actually have some equipment going in to help out the sandcastle. I think it's a Ferris wheel, maybe a little kiddie roller coaster that we put in there for them.
Yeah, and the thing that, your setup basically would shut off that area of the construction site
Oh, yes,
anyway,
it
which
would.
is generally what I've seen in the past, anyway.
Correct. This is going to be a lot smaller event, though, than when we put it on the past. So obviously, the lot is probably half of what it used to be.
Excuse me, I couldn't hear before. We did say there were quarries down on all the workers that will be working.
Correct. We do our in-house. We're approved by the AG's office to do Massachusetts quarry, but only Mass. It's the police that can do the outlying states. I mean, I hate to say this, but we could have somebody that robbed a bank in Maine, and we could do a check in Mass, and they'd come back good. It's not until the police actually do it, and they get their national on them, that we could know anything. Thank you.
Just one, Officer Randall, have these events been pretty quiet and controlled in your experience in the past?
Yeah, well, Fiesta Shows has a long history with the City of Revere and with the Revere Police Department, and Mr. Flynn is always very cooperative in allowing us to decide the number of details that we feel are required for the event, and that's how we do it. We try to gauge the crowd, and he's flexible with details. So, if an officer arrives down there, if there's 2 officers assigned and it's a much larger crowd than they feel they can handle, they call for more officers. We send more officers down, and we've been able to handle the crowds, any time that they've been down there.
And the details, that's no burden on the city, that's paid by us. I mean, they're not free details, they don't cost the city anything.
Correct.
Right.
What hours are you there during the operation?
Excuse me?
During the operation, what hours are you there?
It depends, because I'll have 3 other events going on that week, but either I'm on site as the owner, my partner, or my partner's son, who's also a vice president of our company. But one of the principals is always there.
Okay.
Great. I don't have any questions. Are there any opponents that want to speak on behalf of the city? Hearing and seeing none, are there any proponents that want to speak on behalf of this event? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close that side. I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Item number 2 is Hazmat Ralph, doing business as Express Food Shops, 288 Broadway. Application for renewal, change of doing business as, and a change of manager. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Gabriel Rivera.
Please speak up, and is the microphone on?
Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
Screen? Okay. there you
Yeah,
go.
it's Gabriel Rivera. My address 360 Meridian Street, East Boston.
Okay.
Mr. Hafner is not available to come on today, so I come behind him.
Okay, and so you're up for the license renewal, and you're going to be changing the name?
The name of the business, yeah.
So my question is Mr. Ralph going to continue to own the business, and you're going to operate under a different name?
Correct.
Okay, and you're going to be the manager of the establishment?
Correct.
Okay, can you tell us how much experience you had in operating food restaurant?
This is how I operate.
Sorry?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, could you give us some background as to your experience in operating a food establishment?
Yes, I do. I have before I have a restaurant in Everett called Champignons. I managed it before 5 years ago, and it's just doing very, very well in Spanish.
And so I would imagine you're changing the menu and changing the
the style of the food.
Style
yeah.
of the restaurant,
Right,
yeah.
yeah, it want to be a Spanish restaurant.
Okay. And how long have you had the restaurant in Everett?
I have it for 5 years.
Okay. And what are you proposing in terms of hours of operation?
I'm sorry. I
What-
have,
what-
a, I have a problem
No
with
problem.
my...
So do I. What are you proposing for hours of operation?
It'd be the same thing we have right now with the license. It'd be 7 to 11. Usually I'm not to 11, probably around to 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock?
And yeah, I want to be closed early, and I'll be going to be stay to 11 o'clock closing. So it's probably be changing, probably be open more early, probably around 6 o'clock in the morning for breakfast.
But we need hours, what was hours, 6 to 9?
He's going to maintain the same hours.
Yeah, I don't see any.
I don't see it either, but.
So you're asking for 6 to 9?
Right.
6 to 10.
6
to 10, probably close at 9, but that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. I don't have any questions.
I have no questions, surprising.
Okay. Are there any proponents that want to speak on behalf of Puerto Colombia? Hearing and seeing none, are there any opponents that want to speak on behalf of it? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close both sides. Is there a motion on the table?
Just a minute. Excuse me. Just going to change it to...
Puerto Colombia, yep.
Oh, okay. Doing business as, though.
Right.
The name will be expressed, okay.
There's a motion. Is there a motion on the table?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second to that motion?
Aye. You second it?
You'll second? No, I didn't second.
Oh, I thought you seconded. I'm sorry.
No.
Second the motion.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Your license has been
Aye.
approved. Good luck.
The hearing's going to-
The air conditioners are brutal.
I know.
Item number 3 is the Revere House of Pastry, 139 Shirley Avenue.
It has no permits or anything, can't review. It hasn't done anything.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Vidal Lashan, Riviera House of Pastry.
Great. Mr. Lassane, a couple of questions here. Have you gone through the approval of,
I went to the building department. They approved everything, like, Benny and everything. I was talking to him today and confirmed everything with him. He says it's all set, just like you guys told me last time. You got to go to,
so, but we're talking about, talking about the pastry shop right now?
pastry shop, correct,
Okay.
yeah.
So,
Let's get our other agenda. Okay, here it is.
so as of right now, based on the information that we have from inspectional services, you've got an okay from the health department, but you don't have your final sign-off.
Correct, yeah. I'm
Okay.
still waiting for that, to finish up all the work, which is going to be the end of it. They did a lot of, all the rough inspection, everything. So just, for the final, they're going to sign off. So they're coming back just, for the final. That's it.
Now, the fire department hasn't been in to inspect yet.
Correct, yeah. He hasn't been, he's waiting for a rough. He came in the other day over there. He took a look at the place.
So are you ready for him now?
Correct, yeah. I'm
You
ready
are?
for him sometimes this week, yeah.
Okay. And the plumbing inspector, was he in this afternoon?
He's coming over there in the afternoon.
This afternoon,
yeah.
so he hasn't been there
I
yet?
was supposed to come over here and he was going over there.
Okay. I'll be honest, I'm reluctant to grant the license based on, contingent upon final inspections, only because of the outstanding issues that you have with your other establishment. And unless you can make a compelling argument as to why I should approve it on a contingent basis, I think you'd have to make a pretty strong argument as to how you address the issues associated with the other establishment.
Correct.
So what is the status of that?
I think it was everything misled, to the other, with the other issue with the other store in Riviera. It It was everything misled. They closed me last week for 2 days with no reason, according to Mike.
Who closed you for 2 days?
Mark, he went up to the building department, so he explained it to Benny, totally different way. And then I have to prove it, which is coming to the license commission. He says that I don't have a license at all for that business. And then they have to came and they closed me down for 2 days. And then I went back, the lady over here, she was taking a class in Boston that day, the same day. I was trying to prove it to them, come over here to her and pick up all my file from them, that I have a license, that I filed the right way. And then Benny closed me, he says close that day, so I didn't want to argue with him in the office over there. So then the next day I came and I picked up all my file, I took it back with him to Benny. Benny apologized and he says, I'm sorry, we don't know about that. We would love businesses over here. We don't want to close nobody. It was just little miscommunication. If you communicate with Benny, that's why I came into the license this morning and explained to them.
So with respect to the, I know that the plumbing inspector had issues associated with the bathrooms.
Correct,
Now, have you rectified that, or?
They already gave me a fine. He already gave me a fine for $2,000 fine. And then
I understand that, but what I'm driving at here is that my understanding was that there were 2 bathrooms in there.
Correct.
And at that point, you made it 1 bathroom.
Yeah, I removed them, both of them, both bathrooms.
So are both bathrooms back in use?
I removed both of them.
You removed both of them?
And I submitted, according to my, business, my establishment, the way I want the plan to be. And they approved it and everything. And I talked to Benny about it this morning. He says, he's all set with that. He says he's just going to, take a look. I told him I bought the license, and Mark, he even inspected the first day when he came in over there. He even inspected. That's how I got the occupancy from them.
So where do you stand right now with the plumbing inspector? You've got a new plan submitted for?
So far, I think we are in a good relationship now, because I talked to Benny, I talked to Anthony this morning. I talked to every one of them this morning. We talked about, we talked to the mayor about it. The mayor, he wanted to, fix this issue between us. And then,
I understand it, but here's my dilemma.
Okay.
Okay, my dilemma is that I don't have anything from inspectional services saying that. Now, I know, and I've spoken with the plumbing inspector, so I know you addressed the gas issues.
Correct.
Okay, and you met them the next day. I recognize that. But there were also some outstanding issues with respect to the 2 bathrooms.
Okay.
And I know that there was also a discussion about there's actually you can actually apply for an exception to it.
Okay.
But my understanding is at this point you haven't done that.
But that's the problem. That's why I was with Benny and one of the people from the mayor office to there just to correct this mistake. Why he wants the 2nd bathroom. I submitted everything from the first day with 1 bathroom. I don't have no seats in the place. I don't have nothing. I submitted everything. I explained it to Benny. Benny understand that very good this morning after we talked about it, after I showed him everything. He, I pulled the license. I applied for the permit for 1 bathroom. And that.
My understanding is that so right now you have no bathrooms. Is that what you're telling me?
I have 1 bathroom.
You have 1 bathroom.
We have 1 bathroom.
And is that handicapped accessible?
Handicap accessible.
Okay.
Same from this.
Here's my dilemma. Listen, I don't want to be an obstacle in you doing business in this city. Okay, I don't want to do that.
Okay.
However, you make it very difficult for me to be able to make a decision based on the information you're giving me, because you're only giving me part of the information, not all of it. And what I'm trying to figure out is what the inspectional services, where do you stand with the inspectional services? And quite honestly, I mean, we've had a number of issues, so okay. I really want to check with the inspectional services. Okay. I don't want to be a barrier in you doing business, but I also recognize that based on past experience, there have been a number of issues, and quite honestly, this leads me to this license.
Okay.
You still haven't got, although you're making your way to getting the proper licensing. Okay. You're still not there yet, and I'm reluctant to give it to you on a contingent basis. I would rather have you come here with all the licenses and then, and let me approve it based on, I mean, I should say, let me approve it on that basis. Because honestly, there's too many open ends in both of these establishments that really, honestly, if you didn't have those issues in the past and you were trying to get through them, I understand that. That could be frustrating at times.
I think I have no issue with no any inspections, with no any inspector in the city of Revere. It's only Mr. Mark who's giving me a hard time. I have even some inspectors, they were on my side. They were on my side. Anthony, he was on my side. Al, he was on my side. He says, this guy, he's just trying to give you a hard time. And that's what I was...
Well, listen, Mr. Lassane, I'm not going to argue whether you have, you know, what your issues are with,
Okay.
with the building inspectors or the inspectional services. What I'm saying to you is you need to get sign-off by these groups.
Okay.
You don't have the final on health, but you're close, okay? You don't have the fire inspection, okay? And the plumbing inspection is coming this afternoon.
Correct.
So I'm of the position of get your certificates and sign off
Okay.
on this one,
Okay.
okay? And we'll make a decision on that. On the other establishment, we gave you 30 days. My feeling is if you're working through the issues and I'm getting favorable feedback from those inspectional services, then you know, my feeling is you're working your way towards getting those issues to closure. I'm okay with that. But honestly, I'm not going to approve this contingent upon those inspectional services until you get them. That's my position.
Okay.
I mean, my colleagues might feel differently, but that's my position on it. And like I said to you, I'm not trying to give you a hard time
No,
here.
I understand.
You know, I value the fact that you're taking an interest in that area to establish some businesses, but by the same token, it has to be done within the inspectional services rules and regs.
I have no problem, but I'm not trying to open up before the inspections all be done, completely done. I just don't want to miss, because I have you know, promises to my workers. Like, I stopped them from other, like, you know, positions of their work, and I told them that's like very close to that day we're going to be started. So I'm not trying to open up without that, like, you know, without the occupancy from the inspectors. Okay. I'm just trying to prove my, you know, to prove it today till the final comes in, and I'm going to bring the occupancy to the office of the License Commission.
Get all your final sign-offs.
Okay.
Bring it to Maggie at the office, and at that point in time, at least at this point in time, I'll make a decision based on what you bring in finals, okay? My colleagues could totally think differently than I am at the moment, but that's where I'm at. I don't want to be an obstacle, but recognize where I'm coming from.
I respect your opinion.
Okay.
I respect it.
I'm in agreement with the chairperson that I think we need those sign-offs. We know what happened last time without going through it all again. And without those sign-offs, we don't feel comfortable letting you open. So I'm in agreement with Commissioner Quarantello that when you get the sign-offs from all the departments, then you can bring them to us and we'll look at it again.
Okay. Can you guys be, like, you know, with a note to the License Commission, if there is an occupancy available, I could continue, like, you know, open up for business?
Well,
I mean, like, you know, it's the same thing. Like,
why
you know, I
don't you
understand.
why don't you just get all the permits, have all the sign-offs, bring them to our office, and then they'll be in touch with us.
Okay, before,
And
so
we'll look
so
at
it's
them.
going to be before the second meeting, the next.
That's
If you get the
total-
sign-offs.
That's totally, that time frame is on you. That's not us, on
Okay.
us. I'm saying to you that you go out and get all of the necessary sign-offs, bring them to the office, and we'll vote on it. That's what we're saying.
Okay, so, okay, I understand. I have no
So
problem.
if that includes occupancy, right, then however long it takes you,
Okay.
that's on you. That's not on us. I don't want to be, like I said to you,
Oh,
I don't
okay,
want to be
okay.
an obstacle
No,
in
I
the way of
understand.
doing business.
No, I understand that.
But you need to
So
have
if I bring the occupancy next week, so I'll be signed up for next week.
Well, we'll take a look at it.
That's
and
what
make sure.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if I bring the occupancy signed up by all the inspectors, fire, health department, plumber, like electric, building, so you guys.
If all of those things are on that,
Okay.
we'll call a special meeting and we'll vote on it. How's that?
Okay. Thank you very much. So that's all. That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Item number 4 has been postponed. It's a show cause hearing for MFRP Corporation doing business as the Squire. Squire's counsel wants opportunity to review the matter and come before the council prepared. So we're going to table that until next month.
And make a motion on that to table.
Oh, yes. So I'll make a motion to postpone the show cause hearing for the Squire for our July meeting. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Great. Item number 5 is a show cause hearing for Auto Group doing business as Revere Gallery, 120 Squire Road. Good afternoon. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Alvin Carter, 26 Garden Terrace in Salem.
I'm sorry.
26
No, I didn't catch your first name.
Alvin Carter.
Alvin, great. Mr. Carter. The reason why we had you before this board is that, or this commission.
Is he the owner or the manager?
Yes. Are you the owner or the manager? Good
I'm
point.
a partner.
You're a partner. Okay, so great. The reason why we have you before this board is that there has been a number of complaints in the neighborhood about over a number of cars beyond what has been agreed upon in the license. The license reads that you should have 25 vehicles. The police department has come down there a number of times to put notice that you're over the 25 vehicles that were allotted for that license. As I said, a number of complaints have come from the neighborhood, including we've heard that there also has been vehicles parked in the bank parking lot at times. Having gone over there a number of times myself, and as early or as late as this afternoon on the way over here, I observed 33 vehicles. There you got 4 rows of 5. Then you got 5 cars beyond that, closest to the building. You get there were 2 and 2, and then 1 in front of that. And then you've got I think there were 8 along the sidewalk, straddled over the sidewalk. And quite honestly, the thing that is disturbing to me most is that the police department's been down there 3 times. Council Novoselsky has been down there at least once. He's been in here before this board a couple of times to file his complaint. I mean, can you give us any information as to why that's happening?
Yeah, I've got a solution. The solution, I've been trying to get some storage because what happens typically, things are fluctuating on a day-to-day basis, but typically what's happening is I'm not stocking any more than 25 cars to sell, but I've got 7 employees that work for me, as well as we get pretty cranking by mid-afternoon. And then what happens is that by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I got 7 people that work for me that all drive, and at first they were parking on the street, but then the residents were, came to me nicely and said, can you not have everyone park? So then I was trying to keep everybody in the lot and to the side of the building because we can't park on Squire Road, so that's all we really have. And then when customers start to come and buy cars, sometimes I get 3, 4, 5 customers at once. Then I got service because we sell 35, 40 cars a month. So then I've got cars that come back for service, and then I get hit sometimes with 3, 4 cars, and then it spirals out of control because then a truck shows up from the auction with a new load of cars, and then 5 cars are getting dropped off, and then I'm running around like telling the officer, like, sir, I'm trying, this is out of control, and it's not that I'm not stocking more than 25, it's just that when things get going, it's hard. So I've been trying to find storage. I found storage in Malden. I can't get in there until July 1st. And so then what I can do is every single car that comes back to me for service immediately is going to get taken out of there. It's going to get sent over to the storage facility. I've been having my employees to not even park anywhere over there, to park on the other side of Squire Road, which is on the side of IHOP. There's like a small street, but there's really no houses over there. I've been asking everyone to try to park over there. And then for the most part, it's getting better, but I'm not going to lie and tell you that it's not an issue. But the issue is not so much of me stocking 35 cars for sale. It's more so of just 7 employees that all have cars coming in from service, the truck showing up from the auction, and then customers come to buy cars. And by midday, it's chaos. Because
So let me ask you a couple of questions. So, and it has varied from time to time. I clearly, I could see that, but also, it also looks like there are more than 25 vehicles on that lot. I mean, if you've got 7 vehicles straddled across the sidewalk, it doesn't look to me like those are employees' vehicles.
No.
So,
as far as cars that are for sale that have year stickers ready to go, I'm pretty sure I'm right around 25 right now. But there's a lot of cars as well that come back for service. And
so when they come back for service, do they sit overnight or do they?
Days sometimes.
They do?
Sometimes days. Sometimes a customer, because we don't do any service there. So what ends up happening is if someone comes in and drops off their car for service, I'll give them a rental car, and then their car's sitting there until I can get an appointment to get it sent in to. I use Revere Auto Performance, or I use Pro Auto Repair in the parking lot of Northgate. But then they tell me sometimes I get a car dropped off on Tuesday, and they tell me I can't see it until Thursday. And so then those cars will sometimes sit. I usually have no less than 3 or 5 cars at any given time in for services, because we're doing 30, 35 cars a month, so there's always something coming back. But like I said, I'm 100% confident that after July 1st, I'll never have this problem again, because I've got a storage facility that can fit 20 cars. So as soon as the truck shows up with new cars from the auction, immediately I'm sending them over there. When cars come in for service, I'm sending them over there. And my employees, I'm having them park on the other side of the street. So I just don't see how I could be over anymore after July 1st. I don't see it ever being a problem.
Do you have any documentation with respect to your storage lot?
July 1st, I'll be signing the lease with them, and I'll have that.
So at that point in time, on July 1st, we shouldn't see any more during the day. And I recognize during the day, you might have cars coming in and out of there. But having said that, in the evening.
Exactly. Even in the daytime, customers, they park in the bank. And I'm running over there like, we're trying to sell cars, but at the same time, I'm like, please, you guys are going to get me in trouble, because they don't know. Customers just show up and they go park in the bank, and they double park, and because they can't park on Squire Road and they can't turn into our lot. So when customers show up, sometimes they're double parked, sometimes they're in the bank, they do whatever they want.
So never at any time does the vehicles that you're selling end up in that lot?
In the
overflow in the bank lot?
If we take pictures, we do. When we take pictures of them and put them on the internet, my detail guy has been because he can drive it right into the bank parking lot and take pictures for the website without actually having to put a plate on it. If he were trying to go across the street to the other side of Squire Road, he'd have to put a plate on the vehicle to get all the way around. So he has been using that parking lot to take pictures of cars. It can change if it has to.
It has to. I mean, you can't be using somebody else's lots for you to conduct business. I mean, it's just really. I don't want to speak for the bank, but I'm sure that. I mean, we're talking about your business, and you really need to be able to manage your business within the confines of your lot.
I can tell you, we have 6 locations. We own Bay State Auto Gallery, Everett Auto Gallery, Dedham Auto Gallery. We don't have problems. You know what I mean? Like this is.
Then why is it that we have them here?
That's what I'm saying. This is the only out of 6 locations. This is the only issue that I believe me. I have not been ignoring it. I mean, I was practically in tears with this officer, and he told me, he said, "Listen, people are going to call me. I have to come." And I'm basically in tears, telling him like I'm trying. But it's like I make sure that what I have for sale meets the limit. But then 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it looks like it's good.
Excuse me, sir, I just have to say something. I know what you're saying. I can sympathize with you to a point. You're in a neighborhood. You have a license for 25 cars. You can have problems. You can go across the street, which, by the way, if you have a license for 25 cars, that's all you're supposed to have is 25 cars in that lot.
Sure.
So if you're bringing cars elsewhere, I don't think that's legal.
Well, I
okay?
mean, my question...
Number 2, people live there. I live near that area, and I can tell you, you have cars without plates parked all on the side of that building. I've seen it, okay? You've got 7 employees, so with the 25 cars that we gave you, you never included spaces for your employees?
I didn't know, honestly, I thought that it was 25 to sell. I didn't know that it was...
You need parking for your employees also. So I think maybe the lot is too small for you. And we may have given you too many parking, for sale spots, and you don't have them lined or anything, do you? Do you have strips, painted on the, lot?
We don't.
You don't. Well, you're supposed to.
Okay.
Okay? And I think you should have the striping put there, which
Should we put
all
25
lots
lines?
have to, so that we don't have to hand count.
Gotcha.
You should not be over that. Also, I don't think you can keep a 25-car lot. I think you need to put 3 spaces in there for employees. So I think maybe there's just too many on your license. And I do know the neighbors have come to you. It's a great neighborhood you're in. They have come to you and asked you nicely, and the next day they're right back. I don't think it's this board's problem that you're taking in more cars than you're supposed to. Your license is 25, it's 25, and I would like to see it lined. Also, you need parking for your employees in your lot. You can't expect to take those down by IHOP and put them on that side street, and I understand they're getting tickets there anyway, so I don't know why you would park there. And Paul's, right, it's across the highway, and also you're at Paul's, where you say you're doing repair work.
Yeah.
You can't get down that street
Yeah.
with the cars that are there. So I don't know how many cars you're dealing with, but I think it's a little too much for that lot. So,
I
I
can
mean,
have it lined within probably 30 days, and then...
well, 30 days, how long have you had the license? It should have been done from day one.
Because the hard part about getting it lined is I have to have the storage first, so I can get every single car out of there for the guys to come in line. And I could make a call today to have someone come line, but everything has to go. That's
And
the
I
only-
can appreciate that, because I know all the other Class 2 licenses in the city had to do the same thing, so I can appreciate that. And they did do it. But they all have spots for each car and employee parking. So I'm surprised that it's gone this long. And I have to say, so many people have come to speak to you and nothing has changed. So I just think there's too many on that lot.
It makes it very difficult for us. I mean, like we said, I don't want to necessarily be up here enforcing, requirements that are under a license, but clearly it's an issue.
Yeah, I mean, you might have just outgrown your space, it sounds like. I mean, when you have a drop-off of 5, 7 cars, there's not a heck of a lot you can do. And then customers come in, 5, 6, they're gonna park wherever they park until you tell them. So by the time that happens, they're gonna park illegal. So that spot, for 25 cars, like Linda said, maybe it's just not suitable
Well,
for
we're
25.
not selling any more now than we've been over the years and years and years and years. One of the biggest things is, and things have been basically the same. One of the biggest things, and I'm not making it as an excuse, but I know because I know the neighbors very well. The gentleman that's directly across the street from me is selling his house. So every time he has an open house, he likes to clean up the neighborhood, and I get called on. But I'm not making it as an excuse. I do have an issue. But we're not growing. We're selling the same amount of cars now as we've been doing 3 years ago. It's just I'm pretty confident that if whatever has to come in for service and our employees are not there, that we wouldn't have a problem, which by July 1st I'll have under control.
So on July 1, the 6 or 7 cars that you've got, and they don't look like employees' cars, I'll be honest, they don't. The ones that are out on the sidewalk, those don't look, those look like cars that are up for sale.
Service. The ones that are on the sidewalk.
Service?
Those are service. Like this morning, there was a Jeep Liberty out there.
There was.
Those are cars that came in for service. It came on a tow truck because a lady broke down, had her car towed there. The tow truck dropped it right there. Car doesn't start, and there's the appointment to the shop is not for a day and a half away. And so we just actually pushed it into our lot today. But when I have the storage, it wouldn't even be there. The tow truck would have dropped it off at storage, and then from storage would have went straight to the shop. It wouldn't have never touched my lot, basically.
So other than after July 1st, there shouldn't be any more than 25 vehicles within those marked lines. And I recognize that you're going to have customers that are going to come in and park alongside the sidewalk and things like that.
Not gonna mark the lines by then.
What's that?
Lines aren't gonna be marked.
Within
by
30 days.
30 days, yeah, not July 1st.
I will. No. Yeah. So,
Let me just say one thing. I think it's going to be a work in progress. right? So we're definitely gonna work with you, or at least I will. You know, we'll start with the storage, then the lines, and then I guess we'll take it from there, right?
All right. I mean,
So-
believe me, I'm pretty sure the storage is gonna solve the problem.
That's, yeah, so we'll
Except for the customers, but I try to keep
Correct.
them.
and then you guys just, you know, tell them when they show up, you know, mind moving your car to, you know, spot X or whatever. So,
Officer Randall, you have any comments on this issue?
It was more than a month ago when I spoke to Mr. Carter last time, and he assured me that he had his storage lined up back then.
I did.
So we've heard this story before, and I haven't seen any cars move over to storage. At any time I've gone by to count the number of cars in that lot, there has never been the number 25 in the lot. It's always more. And I'm a police officer. I can tell the difference between an employee's vehicle, which should be registered with plates on it, and a car for sale, which has no plates on it. Whether it's a car for service or a car for sale, it has no plates on it. It's the same to me. It's on that lot. It's for sale. It's not registered. As far as moving the vehicles into the bank's parking lot, because they're unregistered and they're going to move them there to take pictures, there's no way to legally move a vehicle from your lot into their lot without going on to a public way with an unregistered vehicle, which is illegal. So, Mr. Carter has a lot of issues, not just the number of cars that he's over the limit.
So how do you plan to address that, Mr. Carter?
Gonna have the guys put the, you know, like I said, when cars come in and we're taking pictures to put them online, that's what we've been doing. We're gonna have to change. We have to do something different. We're gonna have to put a license plate on the vehicle and drive it to a different place to take our pictures.
How do what assurance are you going to give me so that I know that when you leave here, that as of July 1st, that all of the repair vehicles will be brought to the Malden lot, and maybe you need to post some signs about not parking in the bank lot. I think you should clearly do that.
I can be here with pictures of the lot showing that it's been marked within 30 days, so you guys can see the pictures that it's all been marked. I could post signs on the side of our building that's on the side facing Patriot Parkway, telling customers no double parking, no bank parking. But keep in mind, if you don't park in the bank, if you don't double park and you don't park on that sidewalk, they park in front of people's houses and they complain. So there's only three options. They either park, even if it's just one car. So it's not about growing or not growing. If just one car comes, these are the three options. Bank parking lot, the opposite side of the street in front of someone's house, or right on the side of my building. And then when people drive by, they go, you got cars inside of your building. Or if they park on the other side, customers say you got cars in my
I don't think anybody's going to argue that you're going to have customers during the course of the day, and that if there's cars on the side of the building, and they're customers' cars, but like Lieutenant Randall said, you know, there are days I go by there, they're cleaning vehicles out on the street. I mean, and to me, it's like I don't want to be an obstacle in you selling vehicles, but by the same token, it does appear to me that there's just too many vehicles for that lot. Because if you're gonna service it, and Paul's Luxury Cars worked there, operated there for 20 years, and I don't ever remember an overload of vehicles or people in that neighborhood complaining.
It's not an issue for us to cut it down if we have to. It's not. So if we need to cut it down a little bit, we'll cut it down. We'll mark the lanes, put the signs up, have the lease for the storage. The things that I'm telling you that we're going to do will happen. If I have to bring it in and show you that it's happening, they will happen. But as he said, it's a work in progress. I mean, it's not, the signs are not up now. I don't have the storage until July 1st. I don't have,
So let me ask you a question. So if we went down to 18 vehicles, leave 7 for your customer, for your employees, gives you, and you know, obviously, and then the rest of your vehicles would go over to the storage lot, and then if you've got other vehicles you want to sell and you can inventory them and move them on, would that be a problem?
No, because for the most part, I'll kind of explain something. I don't even have what you see on the lot all for sale. When a customer buys a car, it usually takes them 5 days before they even take it, because once they shake our hand and make the deal, they're still waiting for the financing to go through. Some service has to be done, has to be registered, has to be insured. So 5 or 6 cars that are there, they're already sold. They shouldn't even be there. If I had a storage, they could be gone. Do you know what I mean? So cutting down wouldn't hurt.
Okay, so my suggestion is why don't we go to 18 vehicles? That allows you some parking for your employees. And your customers. Well, I mean, I don't want to make it, I want to be,
Well, seven, you're taking away 7 spots.
taking away
Can
7
I-
spots.
So
Can
then
I,
I think maybe a couple of, you know.
Well, I mean, I recognize-
use them, whatever you
I
want.
think, honestly, I don't want to tell myself something that I know is not going to be, that's not going to be feasible. I think a happy medium that I think would, honestly, obviously, I don't want to be back in front of you guys, so I don't want to tell you something.
No, you don't.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to say something that's just going to have me standing here again, so you can say you lied. But I think if I were low 20s, 21, 22, that I could make it work, where it wouldn't hurt my business, but I wouldn't have any issues if I put it around that number. I think 18 might, if I couldn't even have 7 cars that work for sales sitting in there. It'd be just a disaster for moving around and coming and going.
30%.
But if I could have 4 parking spaces,
20,
25 to 18 is 30%.
how about 20?
20, yeah, 20,
20 vehicles?
20.
So what if we went to 20 vehicles?
2021 would work. If I had 20,
All right, if I give you 21,
Would work.
okay, if I agree to 21 for a second,
would work.
I feel like Monty Hall here, okay? But if we agree to 21 vehicles, as of July 1st, there won't be any other vehicles in there. What I want you to confirm to me is that there won't be any vehicles out there that need to be repaired, or people, or a number of vehicles sitting on the sidewalk like that now as it currently stands. I recognize that you're going to have people coming and going, customers and things like that, so, you know.
2 things. Maybe I'm just being honest, maybe for a moment, because sometimes the truck just comes and drops it. So if someone drove by and seen it there, give me the benefit of the doubt and come back 15 minutes later. Because sometimes...
I get that. I'm not...
Because it's easy to just drive by for a moment and say, they're still doing it. But if you went back around 20 minutes later, it'd be gone, because I'm on everybody's butt when I come in. But sometimes the tow truck coming from Middleborough doesn't know. Do you know what I mean? And they drop the car there, and then my sales guys that are selling cars, they're not aware of it. So sometimes for a few minutes, yes, but overnight, long out, no, it never happened. And if I were running with 21 cars, it'd be 21, but then my people would be parking in there, so I'd still be at 25.
Yeah, no, I get that, and
But I wouldn't
that's
have
right.
I wouldn't have 30 cars inside of there.
Okay.
No.
No, because, I mean, there are certain days that, I know Lieutenant Randall's gone down there a number of times, and there's been a lot of vehicles. I drive by there every day on the way to work. Same with going to the bank. I've been taking notice over the last month and a half. And there are times that it doesn't look like it's a problem. At night, you still have that problem with vehicles sitting on the sidewalk, but I don't see any vehicles in the neighborhood from that standpoint. But so if we agree to 21, that leaves you 4 vehicles, four spaces for some employees. I want it. What's that? Yeah.
Designated spots.
I want a commitment from you that said that you'll tell me that when Officer Randall goes down there on July 2nd, and it doesn't have to be 2nd, it can be any date, but if he goes down there on July 2nd, that we've got all of those vehicles off the sidewalk. And I recognize that he could come down and there could be a car on the sidewalk and it could be a customer, but we're agreeing to 21 vehicles on the lot. They'll allow 4 for customers or employees, and all the rest of those vehicles will be off-site and at the storage facility.
That would work.
Okay, I just have a couple of things I'd like to see done. When you make these lines, they're to be on your property, not extended out on the sidewalk.
Okay.
The lines go on your property.
Sure.
The other thing that I would suggest, if you do put cars outside and they don't have plates on them, I think the police officers should start towing. It's against the law.
Sure.
We've let it go for months. You know, like you say, you've had many visits and it doesn't seem to be doing anything.
Sure.
Maybe the rollback in numbers might help out. But in your other lots in Malden, do you have repair shops right on your
Well, the
lots?
good thing is those other lots, they're not on residential. Like Bay State Auto Gallery is right next to Prestige on Route 99, across from Town Line. So
No,
there's
what I'm
no
asking
residents. Oh, there are lines marked.
Do you have, right, but do you have repair shops right on?
No, we outsource. Everything, because doing repair opens up a whole new can of worms. New
Well, I'm a
licenses,
little
new.
surprised because the city has, most of car lots, used car lots have repair shops right on the premises. That's one of the,
Yeah, I just, because I just don't want to get into more
no,
stuff.
I know you don't. I'm just saying the city of Revere, how,
Sure.
so I'm surprised that you have a license without a repair shop.
We could repair, I believe. We just don't want to because it's just, more headaches. If someone comes in with their car, I'd rather just, if you bought a Nissan for me and you come back with a problem, I'd rather send you to the Nissan dealer or send you to Pro Auto Repair and then, I'm
Okay, but
passing
my
the problem.
question, I just need to know, do you have a repair shop
No.
at this location?
No.
You don't?
No.
It's just a used car lot with no
Yes.
repairs?
Yes, we do no repairs.
Surprised
Yeah,
with
no,
that.
yeah, no blame.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
All right, so as long as, I'm in agreement, as long as they're line spaces and we don't have to sit there counting, they won't be over, the lines will not extend on the sidewalk. You can't use public sidewalks for your business.
Would you guys like me to email or mail the information as it comes in so you know that it's happening? I can, when the pictures come in for the lines, I can email it or mail it in and
That
the
would be
agreement.
great.
That way you know that it's,
That would be great.
So-
obviously
So we're in agreement that we're going to go to 21 vehicles. You're going to put lines within the property boundaries. If you could put up some signs to respect the bank and your neighbors, that would be great. And we'll give you until July 1st to rectify that problem, and then from that point, then we'll just have Lieutenant Randall inspect the premises to make sure that you're in compliance with your license requirements. You have anything that you'd like to add? No? Is there any other questions? No, that's it. All right, so we'll. I don't think, do we have to? Is it show class here? Really? Okay. All right. Are there any proponents that want to speak on behalf of the licensee? Are there any opponents that want to speak? Hearing and seeing none on both sides, I'll close it out. All right, so we'll notify you in writing that you're what we agreed upon, and we'll give you until July 1st to rectify the problem.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Got three communications. Communication dated 5/21/14 from Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission, a notice of suspension of action doing business as Satarini Restaurant for violation of Massachusetts law restricting sale of alcoholic beverages to those purchased from licensees under 18 or 19, sections 18 and 19, or from a holder of a special license under section 22. Said suspension to begin on Wednesday, July 9th, 2014, and to last for 30 days, barring either an offer in compromise or a successful appeal. Communication number 2 is license surrendered by Ardian Papucci, doing business as Dina's Roast Beef and Seafood 364. He is selling his business and is currently closed. Communication dated 6/4/2014 from Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission acknowledging receipt of Form 43, notifying them of a change of DBA for Tequila Eucalypto 2 Corporation, doing business as Las Vegas Restaurant. The next meeting will be scheduled for the third Wednesday in July.
July 16th.
July 16th. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second for the motion?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.